What's up everyone? My name is Morcie, and on this channel I encourage others to live with effortless ease. And today I would like to share with you 3 ways in which observing thought has changed my life. Observing thought is a primary practice in my awakening process, and it's how I am able to share a lot of my experience because of how it has freed me from being so attached to ideas, to beliefs, to the thoughts that flow through my mental field. If anyone asks me, what's the first step in awakening in my own well-being, my number 1 answer is always observing thought. It's simple and it's powerful. It encourages less mind and more feeling, which is what the majority of the world and the people we see would benefit from. Because you're really going back to that essence of who you are and realizing, the one life, connectedness with being. I am you and you are me. On the most deepest level, you are speaking to yourself right now. Consciousness within all of us. I want to share with you all too that I have a lot of videos on observing thought, but if the title of my video, if it doesn't say observing thought, it doesn't mean I don't mention it. I just want to share that with you all in case you have more questions, because there's so many ways I can relate this practice to other aspects of my life. So it helps to give you other examples and stories. So if you click on those videos, you'll have another idea of how such a simple practice, how it translates into life and translates into a shift in your awareness and how you experience thoughts and feelings. So, number 1, one way in which observing thought has transformed my life is through heightened perception. Something really powerful that I've learned, that I'm now able to put words to and express that, is that our ego, it requires a lot of energy to keep up. And I've noticed that within myself. It keeps a lot of energy. It has strong boundaries, an identity, a strong identity, a strong sense of self, and it uses up that energy. And we're very used to that just by the way the world, if you live in a society, that is very much more ego-minded, more consumed in ego consciousness, you'll recognize that, it takes up a lot of energy. But when you observe thought, what's happening is that you're no longer being consumed in that thought. And so what happens is you're now being able to observe it. And all that energy that you were once, all that energy that was being used up when you were being consumed in thought, it gets redirected into your perception. That's when you have this heightened perception. That's when you can go outside and you look at the world and it's just so much more vibrant and alive than it was yesterday. You could feel it. You can feel life. You can feel the sense of oneness with all. I made a video about my choice to meditate for 1 hour. I wanted to see how it was for a couple days. And the outcome of that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You don't have to do it for 1 hour. I just wanted to try that. I personally don't observe my thoughts and just sit there for an hour every day. I don't, but I wanted to know, how, what would happen. And so I woke up the next day and I felt relief. I felt relaxed because I had been dealing with morning anxiety. Sometimes I deal with morning anxiety, and observing thought really helps to improve that. I went for a walk and I looked at the trees and I looked at it in awe. I looked at it and I felt like I could just stare at it for hours and simply enjoy just looking at that tree, looking at the sky, And it was a beautiful sense of joy, of inner peace. you know, and I can tell the difference many times when I stop observing thought like I used to. You know, I usually have this practice while I'm doing the most mundane things. You know, that's when I choose to observe thought. And then I also do it for about 20 minutes in the morning and before bed, right? It's always something that's just very natural, very natural. I never try to force it. When you force it, it's too rigid and you lose out on the whole point of why you want to do it anyways, right? And so, you know, usually I do it when I'm doing very mundane things. And when I lose track of that, when I don't do it anymore, I could really tell the difference between when I'm consumed in thought and when I'm not. So it really helps you to distinguish between when you are consumed in thought and when you are not. So truly, you get this heightened sense of perception with the people around you. You just feel love, totally beyond the ego. You don't see their ego. If something happens, you accept them exactly as they are, because you know they are more than that. They are more than their beliefs. They are more than their thoughts. And so you just let things go. All right, number 2, second way in which observing thought has changed my life is less confusion and frustration with my challenges. My healing process is awakening is so much less confusion. You know, there are moments when I find myself in confusion, and all you want to do is just like cry. You don't understand. You're just releasing and letting it go. But the one thing that I know how to do is just be still, because the answer always comes. Be still. I know the more I stress, what happens with stress is that you're getting so involved in thought, you're losing your focus, and you're forgetting that peace lies within you. Through stillness, through silence, you recognize a space, awareness, right? You recognize that, you feel that, and you let go. You're not attached anymore. You know, I would say that I've learned how to deal with stress, how to approach it rather than to avoid it. Many times we might try to run away from our fears, like, no, but you learn how to approach it. I know that there are times when I have these thoughts that flow through my mental field, and many of us, we might happen to us too. These thoughts, they flow through and they affect us. I've noticed that the more I've observed thought, those thoughts come back up. That same exact thought that once used to pull me down, I'm able to transcend it. I feel like in a way that happens on purpose. You know, those thoughts that once used to make you feel so insecure, they no longer have that power they once used to. You recognize it as it's just a thought. That's all it is. I often think about thought as like, when you believe in it, you go into this channel, and every single thing you think about relates to that thought. So if you're worrying about a certain insecurity and you're believing it, you're on a channel, like you're watching television, like let's say Discovery Channel, and everything on Discovery Channel is related to animal life and related to travel or whatever the theme is, right? You're in that channel, you're watching it. Same for thoughts, you're in that channel. But when you observe it and you're not consumed in it, then all of a sudden you're not giving it so much energy. You're allowing yourself to just be aware of it. And you're not labeling it, you're not judging it, you're not trying to have the mind so involved. All you're simply doing is perceiving it, being aware of it, and it's powerful. So like down below if you've experienced that. Comment down below, let me know if you've ever experienced that. And number 3, last and definitely not least, the third way in which observing thought has changed my life is less reactions, less reactivity, less unconscious responses to people, to ideas, to events and challenges. There's so much space, so much awareness, so much presence that it is so natural to just not react. You know, the ego consciousness, there's a part that truly enjoys reactivity because it really strengthens its sense of self. You know, it really says, you know, when you react to something, you're so like firm in that belief that's like, this is who I am. You know, this is how I believe life to be. This is who I believe I to be. And so you're so involved in that you lose sense of the world, of your own essence. And so the more you observe thought, you truly understand that you are not thought. You truly understand that all it is just this, it's like a, I don't know, like a bundle of thought, of energy field, if I could say, an idea. That's all it is. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to. It's like, I like this example, like thoughts are the clouds and you are the sky, right? You don't have to believe them. Another analogy is like when you're in the mall and you have these people at a kiosk, you know, their job is to sell things. That's their job. For thoughts, you know, their job is to stay alive. They're almost like an entity that wants to be alive. So when you're walking down the mall, you might have people say, hey, do you want this? Do you want to try this? You simply say, no, thanks. You keep walking. And that's the same thing with thought. Thought's like, hey, believe me. Give me a story. Give me an identity. You don't have to do it. And so you become less reactive. You know that you're far beyond it. Far beyond it. And it's truly a beautiful feeling. So those are the 3 ways in which thought has transformed and changed my life. I might have something new a couple months from now, a year from now, but that's the basis of it, and it's incredibly powerful. So like down below, if observing thought, this practice has changed your life, and tell me, share with me, you know, how. Give me some examples, I'd like to know. So my name is Morcie. If you enjoyed these videos, then check out the 2 on the screen. Until next time, peace.